Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast. I'm one of the students, Morg.
I'm the other student, Devon.
And I'm the teacher, Dan. And this week, we are doing another fan zone. We're going to be talking about some Sonic fan comics, including the really old ones by Tyson Hesse, and the more recent series, Hangin Out by The-Hydroxian.
For some reason, I thought they were all by the same artist at first, because I, had missed that you'd given us two different people. I
They
have
do have,
read
some similar energy.
Sorta, yeah. The first one I've read before, I think, actually.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got some Sonic news. Two different pieces. The first thing that happened is a much smaller piece of news, but I thought, it was worth bringing up. People talked about it, for a couple days, and I just thought it would be fun to bring up. So, this, in the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers film, that recently came out.
Dobby shows up.
Yeah,
Gucci
Dobby was there.
That's all. That's the only.
Trip.
That's the only thing we wanted to share. No,
but for real, there was a gag where we get to meet Ugly Sonic, who is
hell yes,
who is specifically the old Sonic design from the Sonic the Hedgehog 2020 film, before it got drastically redesigned after massive negative reception.
Despite the negative press.
Despite the allegations, he's back.
Yeah, he exists in the Chip and Dale universe, I guess.
He's voiced by Tim Robinson.
I don't know if that means that both Sonics
Great.
exist in that universe, as people. I don't really know how that works.
I mean, the whole gimmick of the movie is all of the characters we know and love are just actors who are toons, in Roger Rabbit.
Right, yeah, but I know the only part of the movie I know, other than Gadget fucks the fly, is that,
Huh?
Yeah, it's a whole thing. I'll tell you about it later. Anyway, the only other thing I know besides that is, Dale got 3D-ification surgery. And so I was I wonder if there's two different Sonics or if he got surgery to look better. I don't know.
I wonder.
So much.
They probably don't go into
pressure
it
on
at
these
all.
young actors.
I know.
What if it's? I don't know if any video game characters show up in there, but my initial assumption is there's a Sonic for every cartoon, and that one's Ugly Sonic. There are two distinct Sonics voiced by Jaleel White. It's three. That's what I'm thinking.
Do you think those Sonics ever get into fights because they sound exactly like each other?
Yes.
Yeah, I think...
Absolutely.
I mean, we all know the plot of Sonic Adventure 2 hinges on Sonic being mistaken for a doppelganger. So I assume that just happens every time there's celebrity news about one of these three Sonics.
Yeah, definitely. The news always reports just Sonic, and they always have to be but which one?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you mean? Yeah, I don't really have a desire to see that movie, but there are some very strange things in it that I'm huh?
Yeah, that movie gave me a desire to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's
true,
an actually good
true.
film. So
maybe it's better than I expect.
The other bigger piece of news is that we got 7 minutes of footage of the upcoming Sonic Frontiers.
And folks, the strange vibes are back.
Yeah.
Sonic Breath of the Wild is here, except not really. Mm-hmm. It's more like Sonic Boom, but not really either.
The strange vibes are here.
Mm-hmm. It feels very strange because of two things I think that are very distinct to the audio of a Sonic game are kicking music and the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and neither of them were really present in this.
Yeah,
it was
weird
just sort
vibes.
of an ambient track, and also like the person playing it is playing it the way someone who is trying to present gameplay for a trailer does, which is to say, not like how an actual person would play the video game.
Yeah, at least in like Sonic Boom, it covered up the fact that there was like nothing in their like large open world by having 5 or 4 minions following behind you who all just commented on literally everything you did. And that this one is like, what if Sonic, known for his quips, didn't say shit and there was no music whatsoever?
Right. Like, I will say Sonic is more just making woohoo noises than quipping, but that's sort of the thing with Sonic. You get him saying, you do a cool jump trick and he says woohoo.
Yeah, he does like awesome, like he says wahoo.
Is he Mario?
Like, I'm just
and like
listen.
The music is such a core element of Sonic games. Like every Sonic game, even the bad ones, are gonna have like some fun songs playing in the background, and even games like Unleashed will have like ambient tracks, but this one was not particularly exciting or inspiring. Or chill in the way you want an ambient track in a Sonic game to be chill.
Yeah, it's just weird that they just decided they're gonna put ambient music. Like, just chill ambiance for a Sonic game.
Yeah. Let me think. Personally, I can't quite say if it's good or bad yet. I feel like I need to see it, I mean, it's not done yet, and I feel like I need to see more stuff than just walking around an open world and doing a couple puzzles.
Yeah, I'm wondering if these vibes will like stay weird, or if they'll use this chance to be like, let's clean up real quick.
There was also a weird piece of news where like an obscure Italian artist got very upset with Evan Stanley's design for the IDW character Belle, accusing it of being a knockoff of his character. I don't really have much to say on it other than it's very weird and funny.
I don't know what Belle looks like.
I think it's largely been forgotten by this point. It has been a couple weeks since our last recording, and also it'll be a couple weeks by the time I upload this because I've been putting aside editing just because of a funny little game called Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Oh, this is the character that Spike was.
Oh yeah, that's Belle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's cute.
Yeah. So, what else is it? Yeah, I think that's all the news that I can immediately think of. Next. So, anyways, we read some comics. Do you want to talk about the Tyson Hesse comics first, or or Hangin' Out first?
Probably
I would say Tyson Hesse because I have a lot to talk about Hangin' Out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, in 2010 or 2011 or so, early 2010s, Tyson Hesse, who is nowadays known for his very famous, for his very good Sonic art and involvement in Sega's animation projects, and things like Sonic Mania, he had a webcomic called Boxer Hockey. And Boxer Hockey, I read it back in the day. It was about like this weird, goofy sport that involves like whacking a toad with a hockey stick. All right. It was just this weird, bizarre parody of sports anime, I think. At some point, he did like this little side series that was a set of comics, making fun of Sonic the Hedgehog. They are very strange and very goofy comics. They got a lot of attention when they were made because of, Tyson Hesse's weird art style that he used and all of the, like, different jokes and gags. Like, every panel of this comic is its own gag.
Yeah, it's... I recognize some of them because, like, there were definitely, like, places on, like, DeviantArt and stuff that would use some of these faces as, like, little emojis or whatever. Because you could have, like, various... Like, the no panel is very familiar to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
where he's, like, punching through Shadow's face.
Yeah, I remember... If I remember it right, like, people would make, like, just one-off accounts just for the little icon and use the icon as, like, an emote.
Mm-hmm, yep.
The plot is pretty straightforward. Robotnik kidnaps all of Sonic's friends. Sonic has to deal with him. Along the way, he meets Arms the Magical Kitsune and Nipples the Enchilada. Then Knuckles, needs to get the emeralds back. They use, like, the term emeralds or emeralds. They say it funny.
Yeah, his emeralds.
Where are my emeralds?
Where were my emeralds?
Nipples the Enchilada shoves all the emeralds into Sonic's mouth and he goes super, defeats Robotnik, and makes out with Elise.
Yeah, hi, Elise.
Keep in mind, this was made in a time where everyone was talking about the kiss scene in Sonic 06.
This really feels like it was released in the era of YouTube poops.
Oh, it was. It was.
Yeah, it has that, like, that exact, like, joke format.
It's got that vibe for sure. It's, like, it doesn't have it doesn't have as much of the 2010s kind of weird racism that some of the videos had, but it does have, like, a lot of the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look at this fucking Rouge.
Yeah, they, like, one of the gags is, Eggman reveals his two allies, who are Batface the Rogue, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Original, the character Do Not Steal, who is just Shadow.
No, it's Original, the character.
Yeah. Original, the character, Do Not Steal. Like, the joke with Batface the Rogue is like, for 2 panels she's facing away and she looks very sexy. And in the 3rd panel she turns around and it's
looks
a realistic
even sexier.
Batface. Yes, exactly.
And Knuckles is in love. Or, sorry, Nipples.
Yeah.
Nipples is in love and his nipples clearly get harder.
Yeah, Nipples the Enchilada has rock-hard fist nipples, which he can use to break through stone.
It's kind of chilly out today, didn't you notice?
Mm-hmm. He's got 2 little nips on his hand, and they'll, pop out when he's getting cold or aroused or whatever.
It makes me uncomfortable thinking about my nipples just, smashing against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your nipples are not on your fists, so maybe it works differently.
So true.
One of the gags is tails being replaced with arms to Kitsune. He has very small tails, but he's got 2 freakishly long arms that he can use to fly around, which he demonstrates where he just spins them around and just breaks them.
Yeah, it does cause him extreme pain to do this.
Yes. There's a little Tails doll cameo. They get scared of it, but Supersonic is able to take it out. Or, no, Nipples.
Yeah, Nipples the Enchilada
takes it out.
destroys it.
Yeah.
He, chucks, because Tails gets roboticized, and he gets chucked at,
Yeah. Gets turned into the Tails doll. There's just a lot of goofy drawings of Sonic characters making goofy faces.
Yeah, this is a hard comic to cover, mostly because it's you just gotta look at it.
Yeah. I would say just look up Boxer Hockey Sonic on Google and you'll find an Imgur gallery or something. So I will note that for a lot of people this put Tyson Hesse on the map. And of course, as we know, he eventually went on to do all this big stuff with Sonic officially. For what I can tell, he's a little embarrassed by it. He doesn't have it on his actual websites.
That's funny. I mean, I understand though, because there's a lot.
Yeah, it's a very specific kind of art you would do when you're no one will see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine getting famous and being a part of official Sonic, you're just kind of let's talk about when I made that.
For a while, whenever Tyson Hesse was starting to work with Sonic officially, people would post panels from this, and I think he just kind of resented that. This is what he was to people.
That's too bad. It looks like since we saw another comic by this person, he on his website or on his Tumblr, he lists other things that he's done, including he worked on Gumball, which is cool.
Yeah.
And Bravest Warriors, Archie Sonic, like you were saying, Mega Man.
Yeah.
Boom's Comics, Diesel.
Yeah. Diesel is this graphic novel series he currently works on, I believe with Ian Flynn.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think I got it in a Humble Bundle or something at some point. I should read it. I guess that is a good way to transition over to the other comic he made about Sonic before he started working with them officially. This one I think is more in stuff he does for Sonic nowadays. So, this one's about Knuckles.
Who is very good at his job.
Mm-hmm. He, as he thinks about how good he is at guarding the Master Emerald, Dr. Eggman shows up, and, he's like, he's very cautious, but, he like scares him away, but then Eggman like disguises himself as Sonic, and Sonic shows up disguised as Eggman. They sort of like make fun of each other, and then he just, like, Eggman says that, Sonic is trying to steal the emerald, but Knuckles punches him away and tells him don't tell him what to do, Sonic. And then Sonic, who is Eggman, laughs and gets punched away, and says, "No laughing near the Master Emerald." Then, a very realistic drawing of Ken Penders shows up to tell him that he's done very well, and calls him his son. And we get Knuckles saying, "Thank you, Ken Penders. I'm great at my job." As it zooms out to show he's standing on a normal boulder, and Rouge has flown away with the Master Emerald.
She just did the damn thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun little comic.
Yeah, was not expecting to see hyper-realistic Ken Penders today.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, Tyson Hesse also helped with the Sonic 2 movie.
Oh yeah. He's like a big part of like the Sonic movies as well, because like
he was a storyboard person.
Yeah, he was like partially brought in to like redesign Sonic for the movie.
I do like a lot of the stories of like current Sonic creators they made a lot of fan art when they were like younger, and now they just get to work on it officially.
Yeah, I think it's a huge part of like how they can do stuff with Sonic nowadays, because like if you look at old Archie comics, a lot of the art isn't very good, not because like the artists there are like unskilled. A lot of them are like pretty good artists. They just were like cape comic artists who didn't really know how to draw like anthropomorphic animals. But then you get like people who spend their childhoods like drawing Sonic fan characters and Sonic fan art and whatnot, and they've sort of figured out the formula to properly draw a Sonic character, which makes them a shoo-in for working on official content.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like people who like, care about Sonic, care about like things being brought on, like that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And I know like other things do it all the time, like TV shows do it, comics do it, like that. You kind of make a new generation of people who like this thing, but
yeah,
it's nice to know that like Sonic is also doing this, because based on like sometimes based on like how they treat the games, sometimes I'm not sure. I'm like, who knows how to play Sonic? Who knows why people like Sonic? Not Sega.
Yeah, it's very funny to think about. I know. That reminds me. Another thing that I know is like, if I remember right, is his name Steven Weber? Kyle Weber? I think it's Steven Weber. The guy who was like behind the like big Sonic Twitter. Or when Sonic Twitter was like really making rounds back in the day. Like before that, he had been like involved in like stuff for Phantasy Star, like community moderation and stuff like that. And of course there is Sonic Mania, which is developed by fan game makers. and I believe Sonic Origins might have them involved, but I don't actually know. They were, like, the guy who worked on Sonic Mania had previously worked on, like, these really, really good mobile ports for Sonic 1 and 2. Which were, like, part of the reason, like, part of what made them so good is, like, he realized that there was, like, some problems with, like, just being able to, just put in the ROM. So he basically remade the games from the ground up. I know he also was involved in the, modern ports of Sonic CD, which similarly involved, like, rebuilding the game from the ground up, which helps because the original Sonic CD has, some problems with the level design, and he did a lot to, like, streamline it and make it feel better. So that's it for the Tyson Hesse comics. Let's talk about Hangin' Out by The-Hydroxian.
Yeah, let's talk about Metal Sonic with a mouth.
So this takes place in the Hydroxian AU. The artist has, like, this extremely, like, has, like, this AU with just, like, a whole bunch of reinterpretations of characters. There's, like, some really high concept ones. I think we get to see a little bit of it in this chunk of pages we read, but, like, it gets super wild. I don't know. I'll list one because I don't know if she actually shows up in the comic or not, but one of the AU versions of the character is Vanilla the Rabbit, Cream's mom, as a vampire.
Oh, hell yeah!
It's great.
There's a lot happening, cause, like, and they're still making this comic, like, this is still, there's something from 2 months ago. Like, what we read, fast. Like, it started, like, 4 years ago, but yeah, like, it came out, like, the most recent one looks like it came out, like, 2 months ago. And they, like, come out with a whole bunch of different stuff. Like, I'm like, damn, you know, like, I was skimming stuff. I haven't read, like, past what we read, but, like, there's, like, Chaos as a character and a girl.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Chaos is specifically non-binary, but, like,
oh, see, like I said, I skimmed it, so.
Very feminine coded, though.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, and Tikal is, buff and scary.
Yeah.
Which whips.
Tikal is a buff, scary ghost. There's, like, she doesn't use it in what I've read so far, but, like, there's, like, stuff that, the Hydroxian is drawn on the side where she's wielding a maquahuito, which is an actual, like, Mesoamerican, wooden sword.
Oh, I like Chasey. That's Chaos's name. I'm just...
Yeah.
Sorry. I know it's not what we're talking about at all, but I'm just...
No,
like, oh.
I would say it is a big part of what we're talking about.
I know, but we don't even get to, like, Chaos, like, in what we're reading. I just like these character concepts is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also say, in terms of, like, a comic, this is, like, incredibly readable in the sense that, like, you gave us a stopping point and I was like, oh, I've already read 10 pages ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very readable.
Like, I just kind of was like, I'm just gonna keep going.
Yeah, it's also definitely written with the, like any good webcomic, I feel like it's written that you can, read any page by itself and its own story, but you want to keep reading anyways.
Yeah, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
This person definitely cares about Sonic.
Mm-hmm. So...
And I like it.
Yeah.
Everyone gay. Anyway.
Yeah. Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride.
Happy Pride. Happy Pride, Xbox.
So our story begins with Amy texting Amy texting a friend who she's gonna hang out with. We don't see on the first page, but on the second we see this very ominous hedgehog who looks a lot like Sonic, but not quite. As it turns out, this is Metal Sonic, having donned a sort of a biological disguise using nanomachines.
A Sonic skin suit.
A Sonic skin suit. He's got like little red eyes. He's got this tracksuit. He's got the metal claws regardless.
He does learn how to cover those up later, though. I think now I will weigh in on the Sonic with a mouth debate, because he has one.
Yeah.
I enjoy that he has a mouth, but he is bad at emoting.
Yeah,
So,
he, even in as early as the third picture, or third comic, it's like, that was a heck of a face you pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, page 2 ends with him making this very ominous face, and you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? And the next page is just her noting that, hey, you need to be less intimidating.
Hey, why your face
he
fucked
gets
up?
a little bashful about it.
I love Metal Sonic because he is a character who cannot emote no matter what his mood is. So if you're going to give me a Metal Sonic with a mouth, I enjoy that he is just so incredibly bad at choosing the right face.
It's an entire mood, though.
I mean, yeah, as someone with resting bitch face, I fully understand.
So they watch a horror movie together. It's a horror romance film.
Yes.
I'm just gonna read this like bit of dialogue from the movie. Our love tears clean through all obstacles. I can't stand to be apart from you. Which is why I'm going to cut you apart and sew your limbs to my body. It'll be so romantic.
Yeah, this is exactly where Amy says, without the whole serial killer thing, that guy's kind of dreamy.
So Metal Sonic asks Amy about if she's told him about the fact that he's hanging out with Metal Sonic, and she's very cagey about it. She doesn't want to give a bad impression, but it does sound like he did not like hearing that. It sounds like he's afraid for her life.
I like this idea of like Sonic in this world kind of just being like the dude who won't get over it. Like everyone's like, yeah, we're older, we're moving on, we're trying to be different people, and he's like, why?
Yeah. Metal Sonic spends the night there. He falls asleep to the movie. And seeing as how, Amy invites him to jog with her. He like shows off his whole nano machine disguise, how he can like make human hands. He shows how extensive it is by like stripping nude and showing his body. Because in case you aren't aware, dear listener, every male Sonic character doesn't wear clothes.
Yeah, they're all just naked.
I know it's easy to forget because they're cartoon characters, but they just don't do it. But the female characters have to, because I guess whoever is in charge of character design worries a little too much about that.
Well, once they introduced Rouge the Bat, they would worry that people would be like, well, that's naked titty right there. That's naked bat titty right there.
Yes. They go jogging. Metal Sonic now donned in Amy's yoga outfit. He looks great in it.
Yeah, Amy comments, she's just kind of like, why the heck does he look better in that than I do?
Mm-hmm. And they race. We get a whole race scene. Amy's really good at parkouring, as it turns out. Metal Sonic is technically... She gives Metal Sonic almost a run for his money, but ultimately she does end up using a shortcut.
I do love whenever Metal Sonic gets like competitive or slightly serious about something. Old Metal Sonic face is formed.
Yeah.
He just looks incredibly intimidating for no reason.
Mm-hmm. He's gotta win.
Yeah, he wants to fucking win.
He was built to beat Sonic in a race, and by God, he's gonna do it.
Or Amy, in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he doesn't know about shortcuts.
Yeah. So, they're sitting at this park bench as Metal Sonic has realized he technically lost. When they are attacked by a big gun robot that has the letters FU written on it.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. They fight the robot, Metal Sonic, removing his disguise entirely for optimal combat efficiency.
He, strikes a cool pose, and the gun robot, just shoots at him while he's striking a cool pose, and Amy, fully knocks a missile right back at the robot with her hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And Metal Sonic's like, how did you do that?
And she's just like, can you not, pose right now?
Can you not?
The robot accuses them of being terrorists, and then calls Amy pink as an insult. This incites so much rage in Amy, she forcibly fastball specials Metal Sonic.
Yeah, it rules.
And they're fighting. They nearly take out the robot, but Metal Sonic points out something very important. If they destroy this robot, they're gonna get sued.
Yeah, he's like, Amy, wait! If you do this, this will haunt you for the rest of your life. And she's like, what, now we're not doing violence? And he's like, what? No, I love that shit. No, I just don't want to get sued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the government attacking.
Yeah, this is the police.
He called the police on you.
We got the police called on us.
Shadow comes in though, and he's like, oops, sorry.
Shadow
oops,
has a cool
sorry.
jacket.
He's got a cool jacket.
Shadow got drip.
He works for Gun, which is a thing in the games. I think he is just a gun agent in Sonic 06.
Damn.
And, yeah, it's...
ACAB.
We can, break that down some more someday, but,
Something Shadow's not blue.
Probably when we talk about, Shadow the Hedgehog and,
yeah,
Sonic 06 and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someday.
Your favorite's problematic.
Yeah.
They try to, pass off, Metal Sonic as, a normal person, normal human being.
Yeah, that's just a normal guy with, blood and flesh.
Yes, that's Mike the Hedgehog.
It's Mike!
He's normal.
He's normal!
Everyone's favorite guy, Mike!
I like that Shadow's like, is that you, Metal Sonic? And he's like, no. But then later he's like, alright, we can cut the crap. Alright, we both know.
Yeah. So, they go out for a meal, and Metal Sonic and, Shadow are exchanging words, cause, Metal does point out that, like, Shadow wants to offer him a position at gun, but Metal does not want to do that because they would just leash him.
Yeah, he's like, you want me to be like a fucking trained dog like you? And Shadow's just like, yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm. And also, as it turns out, Metal Sonic is working for another mysterious unknown entity.
Papyrus.
Yes. We see, like, the shot of his boss with a red glove in an Eggmobile. And it is very firmly established so far. This is not Eggman. This is someone else. And they want Metal to look for the next Chaos Emerald. And we do get an April Fool's page where it's revealed to be Papyrus from Undertale.
Game Theory Edition. I love this, honestly. But yeah, it's just like...
this does always open the door that we will see Sans Undertale in this.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Could you imagine Sans Undertale and Tikal making, like, the face at each other?
I need to... there is... The-Hydroxian has drawn Undertale fan art, including some really good Mad Mew Mew art. Let me see. I'm just looking at this right now. Quite a few Sanses, actually.
It's only a matter of time, it's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
When will I get Sans and Tikal making the face at each other?
Metal Sonic leaves to attend to this mission before the waiter even arrives. And as he arrives on this jungle island, where there is Echidna ruins, and he finds the emerald guarded by a dark-type Chow.
Yeah, I love to see the Chow.
Yeah.
We always love to see a Chow.
It's very good to see. The Chow is like crying when he takes the emerald, but shoves an apple in its mouth.
He gives him an apple.
Yeah, he pets it. He's not really used to handling Chow, and is shocked that he's able to, like, interact without even, like, killing it or hurting it somehow.
He's like, damn, I didn't eviscerate him this time. I've gone soft.
Mm-hmm.
Soft like gallium, because he's metal.
Yeah. We then get a quick flashback to when this friendship started.
Which is so funny.
It's just Amy on her phone in bed, and then Metal Sonic shows up, and she is naturally extremely terrified, and assumes he's going to kill her.
This is what I'm talking about with Shadow should not be able to... Not Shadow. Metal Sonic should not be allowed to emote. He's just like, hey, don't be scared, as he sits there in the most scary way possible.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I came to apologize.
Yeah. And, like, he's recounting this story to himself of how he was able to convince her to be his friend after breaking to her house in the middle of the night. And then we see someone has been listening in. It's Tikal.
Tikal is so cool.
In this continuity. Tikal is a scary ghost, and also she's ripped.
She's so strong!
She's so cool!
She could bench press me. And that's cool.
Yeah, occasionally she gets, like, very scary. She gets, like, the Sonic Adventure 2 ghost eyes.
Yeah, he's like, hey, were you, like, eavesdropping on me? And she's just like, no? I wonder who that could have been. And he, like, looks away, and she's just, like, making scary face behind him for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Like, when he first meets her, he asks if she's Knuckles' mom. And her immediate answer is a hard no.
She's like, fuck no. I don't know that guy.
He
didn't listen to my backstory.
I saw some art on this blog of, like, her and Knuckles, and they do have the exact same body frame, which is to say they're both ripped.
Let's go!
Good!
I want to see ripped Knuckles.
Mm-hmm. So, she's, like, talking with him about, like, morality and Sonic and like, she's trying to encourage him to do the right thing, which also involves not taking the Chaos Emerald, which, as it turns out, is going to be a problem.
Yeah, sorry, his boss told him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, but she goes fucking insane. She goes crazy.
Yeah, she, like, kicks him in the back. She disappears only to show up again by kicking him in the back of the head. We get this great panel of her holding down Metal Sonic, ready to punch him, making the scary ghost eye, saying, "So much for pacifism."
She's so cool.
I do like, I do love the author comment on this page as well. Tikal made the mistake of giving peace a chance 4,000 years ago. She doesn't like repeating mistakes.
She's right.
Also, then the page after that is just like, this is still slice of life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the slice of life, where you just get, like, really fun anime moments out of nowhere.
That's like what Sonic Slice of Life should be, though.
Yeah, it should be like zany shonen action anime while someone is also just, like, on their damn phone in a college class.
That's like where we ended, right?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
It's very
I will
readable.
say the next sort of chunk of pages is their cool big fight. We'll get to see more of other characters. I don't know the full extent of what happens in this comic. I know Infinite and Gadget from Sonic Forces are in it at some point, which would have been pretty recent when this was made.
On the terms of it being very readable, since we started covering it, I decided to, because I was like, I'll look a little ahead to see what happens. And then I am currently on page 78.
Yeah.
Have you met Chaos yet?
I have met Chaos and Chaos rules.
Yeah,
Hell
Chaos
yeah.
is great. Chasey. I'm looking ahead a bit more, and I do see there is another very obscure Archie character here. Phage.
I know!
I look forward to talking about these characters.
Who is this cool lady?
Phage is like this virus Dr. Eggman made, in the Archie comics, because on the Freedom Fighter side is Nicole, who at that point in the comic is just like a HoloLynx. She's a lady.
Yeah.
And like, there's like a whole, I think Phage is in Spark of Life, which is what Ian Flynn meant to make as the prelude to what would have been the Sally Nicole romance plot line.
Still so sad that that's just not gonna happen, right?
Yeah. Ian Flynn has stated that he wants to, at some point, legality permitting, write this big piece on, like, all of, like, the stories he intended to write for both the original continuity and the reboot continuity that never came to fruition. I know it's gonna be called Lost Hedgehog Tales. I don't know if he ever progressed in that, or if that's even ever going to be a thing. It's been a couple years since the last time I checked on that. But, like, he had a lot of ideas, and one of the ideas was a gay romance. Let's see.
Okay, I've still been reading further, and the whole thing with, not to spoil too much, with Metal making scary face, whatever he's just trying to be like serious or excited or anything, that carries to almost every like Dr. Eggman related machine that appears in this, and I think that's fantastic.
That's great.
They all just accidentally do it, and they're like, I'm so sorry, did that come off as scary?
Mm-hmm. So, that's it for this fan zone. We gotta do the, I'm just gonna call it now. Next fan zone, we're reading more Hangin' Out.
Yeah, I can't stop reading this.
It's so fucking good.
It's really good.
It's so good.
It's good, and there's not like that much. Like, yeah, there's like 100 pages, 120, 30, I don't know, something like that. But it's like, we're already on 45, so it's probably like 2 or 3, like, more of these.
Yeah, and not to mention, there's just loads and loads of, like, little one-off drawings that The-Hydroxian made of the various characters in this continuity. And maybe I'll just, like, maybe at some point I'll just, dedicate an episode to reading off, all of the AU and OC characters The-Hydroxian made for Sonic.
I'd enjoy that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. So, until then, let us read some listener questions. If you want to send in a question, you can either send it in to our Twitter, @ShuffleSonic, or our Discord, which can be found on said Twitter, or in the show notes of every episode. So, we've only got Discord questions.
Yeah.
So, I think we only have a couple. There's some comments about, like, how much people are interested in this comic. And Tikal, who is ripped and rules. Teddy asks, Hangin' Out is the one with Rip Tikal, right?
Yes.
We stan her, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. There's like I know there's like this one-off thing where the Hydroxian talks about her, like, being this, like, dedicated, like, she's, like, very dedicated to, like, teaching people about, echidna culture, but also will fucking kill you if you do some colonizer shit.
That's so fucking good.
Let's go. Like, if you're gonna do fucking weird native stuff with the, echidnas, at least do it like that.
Yeah, if you're gonna make them, like, a weird, like, indigenous stereotype for, like, creepy reasons, make it so that anytime colonizer shit happens, they kill them instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's justice. Let's see. Teddy also asks, would you hang out with her, or is she too spooky and scary? I would hang out with her.
I would hang out with her, but I'm also, like, not trying to steal the emeralds, so I feel like I'm pretty okay.
Yeah, I would hang out with her and just keep asking her to make that scary face. I'd be like, don't hide your true self. You can make that scary face around me.
I would also be like, can you teach me some defense lessons?
Yeah,
or
can you teach me
something?
how to teleport? And also, for, like, science reasons, can you bench press me?
Yeah.
That would be good. Jasmine Sidmon asks, what's your opinion on Nintendo hire this fan versus Sega hire this fan? I'm a little confused by the exact nature of this.
Yeah.
I assume you're asking about, like the whole, like, concept of hiring fans.
I generally like that.
I generally like that.
I don't know.
I feel like with how the state of, like, Sonic video games seems to be going.
Yeah.
I wish they would do it. I don't know if I want to say I don't want them to get involved because I don't want that on their conscience. Or I'm between, please hire more fans for your video games so we can get games that look fun and don't have weird vibes.
Yeah.
There is some complicated stuff with having, like, fans in the driver's seat, just in the sense of, like, if, just, like, how things are, like, interpreted and stuff, like, for, like, comics in general, if, like, something, like, a previous writer writes lands incorrect, like, let's say, like, someone was, like, trying to, I don't think this would happen in a Sonic comic, but, like, maybe, someone was trying to critique, like, authoritarianism in their comic, and they, like, wrote it out, and they were like, okay, cool, and made this character who sucks, but then, like, someone reads it later and is like, oh, this character is cool, actually, and I'm gonna change them and make them my own. And, like, that can become a problem, but in general, I like hiring fans because it's like, they know the content and they know what people like generally, because they're like, we were the people who liked them. And if you're talking
also, there's like a real passion for like the subject of what they're working.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's a project where they're like, I'm so glad and happy that I can be doing this.
Yeah, it's not just some like guy who's like, I'm doing art and it's like whatever, as long as I get paid. It's like, oh, I'm getting paid for something I genuinely enjoy. And that's great. As far as like Nintendo or Sega, I'm always hoping Game Freak specifically hires Fakemon artists, and they just, there's not enough Fakemon artists hired on. That's my opinion.
I always feel like they're so scared of Fakemon artists.
They are! And
You're
I'm like,
oh shit.
Yeah, like, there's some really cool ones out there, man. But, hire your fans, generally, is how I feel.
Yeah, hire people who's, like, have, like, a passion and a love for the thing they will be working on. Not that I'm, like, people should dream of labor, but also...
Yeah.
Like, hire people who will, like, have fun and enjoy what they do, and maybe pay them, like, what they're worth.
Right, yeah,
also.
Absolutely. And don't crunch them. That's a big, I mean, maybe less in, like, I don't know about comics, but in, like, animation and video games, like, so much crunch. It's like, give them time to, like, make their passion project about this, because otherwise they're gonna, like, resent it, and it's not gonna come out as well.
Yeah,
like,
maybe, like, treat them like people.
Yeah.
I will say, Sega, I think, has, like, a proven track record so far of, like, they know how to do it pretty well.
Yeah.
Or they know who to find.
Yeah.
Like, I think of the various people who have, the various fans who have been involved in Sonic over the years, and for the most part, I think they did a pretty good job at it.
Especially recently, I feel like.
Yeah, like...
With Mania and, like, all that stuff, like, and the movies and everything, like, it seems like they're finally taking that kind of stuff into consideration.
I will say probably the most noted historical example is probably John Gray, who is historically one of the first to really do that. Was like John Gray, and there's someone else, I just don't remember her name right now, but there were some people in like the early 2000s who, and possibly late 90s, who were involved in that as well, and they did pretty good. John Gray is, like, you can find some really good John Gray Sonic fan art out there. And of course I have to think, I remember who the other person I was gonna list. It's Jay Axer, who, who of course famously drew, the very good image of Tails in a Nine Inch Nails t-shirt and Jinko jeans with a katana and gun.
Oh, that's so good.
I love that picture, and I'm so glad that person got hired to be a Sonic creator, because that picture is iconic.
It's so good.
So once again, I've still been reading this comic during this whole time. Just got to a part where Tikal is now in like cool overalls. So that's good.
All right.
Well, excited to get to that point.
So
one more question?
Yeah, one last question from Emmy the Mouse. Which character so far has the most gender? I assume in Hangin' Out.
I mean, we haven't gotten to Hesse yet, but I feel like that's gonna be my answer.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were non-binary. But also it sounds like Tikal in like overalls is very gender to me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Tikal because tall and buff.
Tall and buff ladies, we love it.
Yeah.
But also like I do like that I also just like robot characters being like main characters, cuz like even though it's like he's Metal Sonic and stuff, there's always going to be some kind of like gender stuff underlying like robots, just, and also a lot of like neurodivergence and stuff underlying it, just like due to like how robots.
Metal Sonic is autism to me. And I love that.
Yeah.
Metal
Sonic, like,
especially with the like face, like the like I'm having trouble making faces and stuff.
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
really good.
Very relatable stuff. It's like points at Metal Sonic and is like, they're gay and autistic to me.
That's my gay autistic character. They were made for me.
Let me find my die real quick. I swear, if I have to use a random number generator, let's see, there it is. You probably heard a lot of noises just then. My apologies. So,
unless you edit it out.
Gonna roll for next week. Oh fuck! I dropped it.
Oh no!
Oh wait, it landed. That is a 5, and I need to real quick remind myself. I believe 5 is definitely in the TV show range. Let me just real quick see.
It's Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Okay. We'll watch some episodes of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I will have to look and see which ones we're going to talk about. Figure out which ones have the funny PSAs, which ones have interesting things to talk about. We might be talking about an episode called Super Robotnik, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check. But until then, look forward to it. I think it's time for plugs. I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places, and for now, you can find them at linktr.ee/big_challenges. I'm looking to find an alternative, as Linktree recently moved to. Linktree recently decided we should let the little icon on your Linktree account be an NFT because that'll make the shareholders happy. That'll get us some venture capital, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But regardless of whether or not it's on Linktree, you can find my Twitter at Bigger Challenge. You can find my YouTube channel, Big Challenges. You can, from there, and on there you can find my Fallout 4 Let's Play. Because I was recently reminded of it, you can also find this the series of videos I uploaded a very long time ago of Doc Future, aka Topher Florence's, Sonic 2 Special Edition Let's Play. You can listen to my other podcasts, which include Pot of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We're almost done with season 3. We are, at the time of this recording, doing the Cup of Greed event. That'll be over by the time you hear that, and man, I wish I had edited the more recent episodes sooner, because by the time you'll hear those, it'll be too late.
I guess you can cut them out, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
probably not worth it.
Yeah. But we are nearly done with season 3. There's only a couple more episodes to cover. And also Devon was recently on an episode. I just listened in on that one.
Yeah, I've been turning the phrase Flabucci Flagrante in my mind for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's just a sneak peek.
Mm-hmm. You can listen to, let me see. Video Games, the Movie, the Podcast, a video game movie review podcast I do with my friend Maxie. The episode that's supposed to go up soon is for, the 1980s, Mario OVA, The Mission to Rescue Princess Peach. We had Sky on that one. And the next episode for June is going to be Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse? I think it's Apocalypse. Resident Evil 2 Apocalypse. I'm trying to see if I can get Morg and Kursgoat on there, since they're very passionate about the Resident Evil movies, and we had them on before to talk about the first Resident Evil film. Haven't heard back at this time, but who knows? You can listen to my finished podcast, Chill Bleed, about Ill Bleed, and my inactive podcast, Stranger's Fiction, which is an actual play. And last but not least, you can visit at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox. We're recording on June 2nd, so happy Pride, Xbox!
Happy Pride, Xbox!
Happy Pride, Xbox.
Morg, where can we find you?
You can find me at Haunting the Morg. Haunting the Morg on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. You can also find me on my other podcasts. I mentioned this on Ghost Gaze, but Departure Lounge is pretty much probably gonna be over, because one of the co-hosts, well, all 3 of the co-hosts have other stuff happening in their lives, myself included, but maybe it'll come back in the future, but I'm gonna say it's on permanent hiatus. So I might just stop listing it. But it does exist, and it is still out there, and the episodes that are out are pretty funny. I might put up what I have on the computer at some point at least. But my 2 active podcasts are Digimon Ghost Gaze, which I mentioned, Digimon Ghost Game podcast, and Forward ReZero, a ReZero Watch podcast, which, yes, we are actually putting out a new episode soon. It's, as far as I know, it's actually coming out this weekend. It's just with, all kinds of stuff happening. that one was on a regular normal hiatus. And it's coming out, and that one's good because it has Jordan Breakfast as a guest, and
oh hell yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Devon.
You can find me on Twitter at Groovin Ghastly. You can also find me on a Hunter x Hunter podcast called Gone Will Hunting. And I think, if I'm not mistaken about our schedule, we're going to record a promo for our new podcast, We Rate Queerbait. Basically, I think announcing that our first episode is going to be on Sasunaru, the thing that ruined my life. So look out for that in the future.
Sasunaru turned me gay!
Sasunaru ruined my life and
That's
did
funny.
irreparable damage to most of the world.
Damn.
But that's it.
Yeah, I will say I do one thing I have thought about, I remember many years ago realizing just how much gay shipping is important to, how gay shipping, basically the people who shipped Sasuke and Naruto in the 2000s discovered in the 2010s that they themselves were gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me going on YouTube.com to look up funny what if Naruto and Sasuke were kissing AMVs, going like, haha, that's so funny people would do that, and then hitting the next video on the autoplay.
That was me just being like, damn, I like all these cute guys kissing each other. I must be like, that's normal, right? Because I thought I was a woman also, so it's like, oh, I just think guys are cute, and then it's like, oh no, I want to be them also.
Just,
awkward.
Oh no, this is something different.
This is not what I was thinking it was. Oops. Also, I like girls too, I just didn't realize at the time.
Whoopsies!
So, you can also find us... Wait, shit. Yeah, okay, everyone's gone. You can also find us on Twitter, at ShuffleSonic, on our Discord, linked in the show notes. And you can find us on Noisepace.xyz. Noisepace.xyz is a podcast network run by noted Canadian Matt GameCube. And
their fucking elections are happening.
Several of the shows we've already listed are on there. And other shows, such as the Hamsteak Podcast, in which, let me see, Elizabeth Leaf Crunch and Lydia, go through, Homestuck. I will say this podcast has not been active, since 2020. But the last episode was on S Cascade, a revolutionary moment. I guess the apex of Homestuck.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do consider it the apex. Didn't they talk about it recently in Homestuck Made This World?
Yes. The most recent episode of that podcast was on S Cascade and the end of Act 5. Let's see. I also like the title of this. All post carriers deserve a big sword.
Wow, true.
Yeah, that's so true.
But there's not just the Noise Space Network. There's also stuff that are by our friends who we also enjoy and listen to their podcasts, like How to Wrestling. Joe Graham is guided by wrestling expert and host of the Attitude Era podcast, Kevin Mann, as they explore the world of wrestling. And it doesn't look like it looks like the podcast has slowed down over the years, but there are a lot of episodes on a lot of famous wrestlers. Like, this podcast seems to have been going since 2015.
Damn!
Which I do think makes it older than a lot of the podcasts on this network. I don't think it's the oldest. I think of the ones, yeah. Like, I think the oldest show on Noise Space is probably either Secret Life or Fear Baiting. We've talked about this before, but
it might be
one of those
Fear
is probably
Baiting,
the
or
oldest.
it might be Fantastic Satisfaction or Fear Baiting. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great. They've got the most recent episode is from 2 months ago. How to Rikishi. Every episode has this sort of like title structure where it's hashtag how to, then whoever they're talking about. Yeah. So, until next time, Sonic is real, he is strong, and he is my friend.
He is the only blue live that matters.
The only one.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.